close the deal via text. At some point, you're going to push that to a call. That call is most likely going to equal a site visit. But in between, how many touch points do you usually have with that client? It can't all be a phone call. Email isn't going to be effective. The most effective way to deliver a small piece of information, poignant, and you know that it's going to be read in the moment, even if you're not expecting a response, text. Right? And it gets underutilized. When you've completed a deal with the homeowner and you want to just send a thank you message, you want to communicate with them afterwards, text would work really well. Right? When you want to communicate with your buyers and let them know what you have available, text is going to be the least invasive, fastest way to get them to respond. There are all these ways to use SMS engagement throughout the full cycle of closing a real estate deal that go underutilized because too many people pigeonhole it as outbound, right? And so where I'd like to see the industry shift is in that level of growing up and sophistication of really utilizing SMS the way it should be utilized, and to really take the full impact of what it can do for your business.
So you're kind of talking about like etiquette, right? Like
yes,
there's kind of funny, like seeing my kids go through this. They're in 6th and 7th grade, and they get like email writing, right? Here's how you send a formal email. Here's how you send an informal email. So we're talking about like adding these etiquette behind the messaging for texting.
Yeah, and I think that the ways to approach things are really in front of people more than they realize, right? Because when we say that people are in a position of vulnerability or have gone through a life-changing event, right? There are still levels to that.
Yeah.
Right. If you're approaching somebody that is over 55 and in a high equity situation versus somebody that you know is going into pre-foreclosure, different timelines, different problems, different approaches, right? And knowing by really looking and analyzing and shrinking down the data that you're focusing on and humanizing that data, it gets easier. Like I see mistakes like this that will happen, right? Like using that over 55 high equity situation. Somebody says in a first message, no, I'm not interested in selling my home or not right now, right? Not a hard opt out. It's a timing issue. Not interested right now, right? So you got to figure someone over 55, high equity situation, they're not in a huge rush. They don't have a ticking clock, but if they got onto your list through filtering, this is probably a conversation that they should be having, right? If not wholesale, then at least subject to, right? And so rather than coming up with solutions and different angles to show them the viability of this route as compared to, the traditional MLS route, people would just put them on a drip campaign, and that drip campaign will ping them once a month saying, hey, do you want cash for your house? How about cash for your house now? How about cash? Like that. There's no strategy behind that. It's just a set it and forget it mentality, and hoping that again, like the desperation slips through. Right. But how many deals are there that aren't the last resort deals that aren't being closed? Yeah. Because there's not strategy focused on what that person needs. Like what is their emotional motivation behind wanting to sell that house? You can dig pretty deep on that without having a discovery call. Yeah. By just the data that's right on your spreadsheet. There's a lot you can mine from that.
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload.